Hello my people, how are you? I hope you are doing well. Today I'm in Wakiso and I visited Patrick's farm. Like we always say, we are saying no to idle land, and we are here to learn from Patrick to see what he's actually doing so that we can also learn something from him and do something on our land. Those ones in Wakiso, I know maybe you've been saying you're visiting farms very far away. Now I'm in your area. Please learn, and you can also get in touch with Patrick in case you want more details. Patrick is going to introduce himself and then he will take us through his projects.
Thank you very much, Irene. I'm Patrick Mugisa. I'm a civil engineer and a very passionate farmer. This is my farm, JDM Farm. I'm actually very excited to have you guys listen to me and to show you what I'm actually doing. On this farm, I do pigs, goats, chicken, and dairy cattle. And while I'm doing all these things, I'm using the forest garden model, combining it with integrated farming principles, using minimum tillage also. These are completely organic principles, and yeah, it's an organic farm, so to speak. So the kinds of pigs I'm keeping, first of all, these are Canberra pigs, and I'm using the composting floor, what many of you know as IMO system, to raise them. Most of the inputs I use are actually completely local. I supplement with some concentrates, but most of what they're eating usually is material from within the farm. And I get leftovers from some restaurants and a hospital somewhere in Kampala to fill up. I also use chicken litter mixed with maize bran. So in their system here, the IMO composting floor, you can see that material is bedding. Yeah, these are structures which I only clean probably once in 6 months after that compost has turned around. That's what we mean by IMO, or a composting floor. That system completely, the way it is designed is that the bacteria in there attack ammonia and they kill the smell that comes with dung, and they make sure the waste is not as offensive as you find on most farms. So
how many do you have so far?
Currently, these are about 19 pigs. I keep offloading them. My system here, I don't keep many pigs because I'm trying to get the whole system balancing well. I want to be able to sustain them in the model first before I can expand. So over here, this is the sock crate system where the adult animals stay. This is where they give birth from. This is where they spend their time. In this system, the adults are less destructive than they would actually have been. They are easier to feed. All they do is eat, drink, and then sleep.
Oh.
There's no digging of holes. There is no spending time hurting each other, fighting. They are just in here the whole time. In a sock crate, when it gives birth, the piglets are kept on the side where it is warm, and they are cared for easier. The losses due to being slept on are so minimal compared to other systems.
But the place looks congested.
Yeah, it
small
looks
space.
congested.
Hey.
Maybe what I can tell you guys is that you compare it to the battery cage system of rearing pigs, rearing chicken. It is almost like that, because you're trying to keep the animal confined for better management.
Oh.
Yeah, and they are very productive when they are kept like that.
So what else do you feed on the pigs?
Yeah, I like, these are the leftovers. These come from a restaurant. This is silage, sweet potato silage. This is sweet potato silage that we make and store.
Oh.
You can. It smells. I'm sure you can. Yeah, it smells good. And this is chicken litter, dry litter. I get this from a neighbor who's also keeping them, who is also keeping a battery cage system of production. And when we mix some of these, we choose to mix a different lot at a different time to feed different groups. Yeah. You can see this pipe running like this.
Yes.
This is how they take their water. Automatically through nipple drillers.
Oh.
Yeah. We do not have to labor to give them water.
Okay.
We do not have to labor to push for them water. They can drink. They can take the water through the pipe. I don't know how to demonstrate for you. From here. Like they bite on that and then water comes.
And then the water comes
Yeah.
out. Oh.
Yeah. The basin at the bottom, that device at the bottom is just to hold the water not to run off into the... Yeah. So
Oh,
that
I've seen it.
Yeah, that nipple is pressed and then they suck on it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, this is mainly about my piggery. I try not to make something too expensive beyond what I can actually raise. Many farmers have the miscalculation that if you have a very round pig, big and round and nice, that you must actually be making money. But yeah, I have come to believe, and I've done enough research to find out that actually that's not the case. These animals, you need to be sustainable while doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So you tell me. Yeah, these are my dairy cows. This is an operation which consists of dairy animals and jerseys. Ultimately, the plan is to have 75% jerseys and only 25% Frisian. I need the jersey animals for high butter fat content and the Frisians for milk, like quantity. The jersey produces good milk, sweet. The Frisians produce a bigger quantity of milk, but compared to the amount of feed that one is given, the jerseys are probably more productive. So I want to keep a balance of both. Yeah.
How do you manage feeding them?
Yeah, so we feed them 3 times a day. And at that time, they are given in the morning at 8, at midday, like now, and at 7. And in between, they sprinkle maize bran for the ones which are dry, which are not lactating, and dairy meal supplements on the ones which are lactating. I have 2 animals which are lactating. That is the jersey at the end and the Frisian at the beginning. Those are their calves over there.
So how many liters do you get in a day?
Yeah, this animal is currently lactating about 14 liters. And the other one is lactating approximately 17 liters. That's both morning and evening. Yeah. I do not have a high productivity yet, the one I would have wanted. It is because of the thing I explained. During the dry season, the amount of feed and the quality of the feed is not the best. So when I supplement even with things like silage, and when I supplement with the waste that the garden weeds that are there, it is not the best level of things of nutrition they would want to have. However, I'm not complaining with that yield of milk.
What is in this?
Get better. Yeah, these drums, these are barrels that I keep the supplements in. When they are full, when they are not being used for anything, I keep maize bran, sometimes water, sometimes dairy meal. These are microbes, yeast. I think you've seen this before somewhere.
Yes.
My silage for the animals is in that room and in the garage.
Okay, we will
I have 100 barrels of these drums. These allow me to store silage and feed for the dry season. Yeah. Without storing feed, because there is only peak production at a certain point of the growing season. Yeah. Just over here, I'm sure you can all see this kind of flow.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a simulation, an adaptation to what you've just seen in the piggery. I'm trying to make a composting floor for the animals as well also, so that I can make them live as naturally as possible.
Okay.
Even on the far side of this structure, you can see on that side, there is where they go to sit and to sleep.
Hey.
Yes, that's also an adaptation I'm trying to make. Unfortunately, they poop so much that it's difficult to keep it as clean. But that's because maybe I'm not using expensive things like sawdust. But I will get there, because their comfort is the most important thing I want to depict.
Okay.
So these are some of my silage barrows. Yeah. These are probably about 25, about 30. I have another possibly 60, 70 in the garage. We are going to go take a look at them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of these have some things inside, or?
Almost all of them have something inside. Like I told you, we constantly keep using it.
Oh.
Now, when you're doing farming in an urban area, you need to have contingencies. You need to prepare long into the dry season. I'm not only doing silage for cows, I'm doing silage for the pigs and for the goats. Yeah.
You can maybe open and we'll see what is inside.
This silage is made from grass. This one.
Oh.
Yeah. It also smells almost like the other one of the sweet potatoes. So I make silage from anything that I can ensilage. Actually, anything can be ensiled. Yeah. This particular silage was made from grass that a neighbor, he had a big land, so he was slashing, and I got it, ensiled it, used maize bran with grass, and then put it in this.
Wow.
Now, I understand there are farmers who prefer doing pits and what, but the guys who do silage with pits, they probably lose almost half of that.
Oh.
Yeah. Me, I've invested a lot in these things. Each one of these things probably cost me about 50,000. But I know this. I know how difficult it is to make something and then lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I make a profit on the farm, I purpose to make sure that at least 30% of that profit goes toward feed and feed management, like some of these barrows.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm also trying to automate many things. These goats drink water from here.
Wow.
But there's a backup just there behind you, that jerry can, where they will also take some water. I try to take some activities out of the way of casual workers, because I don't want my animals to suffer because somebody couldn't carry a jerry can of water from somewhere. Water is, all living things are composed of literally 75% water. So the more water an animal has access to, the better. Yeah. So this is my savannah goat operation. And I'm keeping savannah goats on a zero grazing system. I prefer savannas because of branding, because they are more prolific. Even compared to the Boer goats, the savannas are the high animals. Basically, because of the model that I'm using to keep them, they eat more branches than Boer goats. And their preferences in terms of taste are low. They don't need to eat much. They are not picky about what they eat. They will eat and convert literally anything they come across. These are kids of they are going to make 5 months. They're going to make 5 months in the next 1 week.
And then these small ones?
These ones are 2 weeks old.
Okay.
2.5 weeks old, because I castrated them a week ago. So I'm very happy with this conversion rate.
How long have you had this project for the goats?
I've had a very, very interesting journey with goats. But it is coming to 9 years. The first 4-5 years of the goats, I was really just guessing my way around. There was no real. I was not thinking. I used to tether them. They used to get many problems, and I made a whole lot of losses. It is only after I modified the operation to this stage. That is a goat. This goat house you're seeing here, this is my third structure. I have learned the hard way not to build temporary things, not to build them and sit wood on the ground. You can see all the structures I have are literally concrete or brickwork, and the wood is on top of the brickwork. This is something I've learned the very hard way. With such a design and a structure like this, it is easier to multiply your space because the structure is in the air. The goats can even use the space under. It's easier to clean. The aeration is the best. And the animals like them are dry and clean whenever it even rains. These goats, ever since I built this structure in 2020, none of my goats have ever been beaten by rain. The moment it starts raining, they just go up. Each one has its apartment up there. Yeah. Even the male has a whole, presidential compound. Yeah. You'll tell me? Yeah, so another modification to the building I did was I wanted a human being to be able to stand in here. Because this is the best place when we are treating them, understanding what is wrong with them. Basically, even space. If you have vertical space, there's no reason why you should be worried. So each of those adult goats has an apartment where they stay here. And of course, the kids just stay in the corridor. When I need to offload animals, I'm not really worried that I'm taking away from the operation. So when you see these slats in the floor, whenever they poop, that goes through. Yeah. So even here, we really clean. We only take the dung out and gather it from the bottom probably once in 3 months, 4 months. All these things and the design of the buildings I have are meant to lower the amount of work that the workers have to do, so that they can concentrate on other operations.
Okay. I'm seeing this grass. What exactly is it for?
That grass is one for bedding, the one which is not so good quality like the one on top. Whenever you store hay, the top layer becomes a bit not so nice. It is a bit dusty and not so nice. But then right under it, you still have your good quality hay. That grass is for strictly emergency periods of time.
How long has it been there?
It has been here now for a year.
Wow.
Yeah. And it is still good.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, you be careful. So when I was modifying this building, it also happened recently. I decided that I wanted my entire operation to be for the animals to be in a summarized place. The cows, the chicken, the goats, and the pigs. Because I just want to be able to walk in and then say, these things are not doing well. What can we do? What's the problem there? And then just solve that problem.
But so there are people who say you cannot graze cows and pigs from the same area. Have you heard about that? Yeah. And what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, we lack knowledge is really our biggest problem in farming and even in Uganda. We're a bit behind, especially in agriculture, compared to the rest of the world. These are models that we are copying from many different places. I would encourage you guys to read more about integrated systems, especially the ones from Asia. There are those systems where you find stored like chicken house on top of a piggery, on top of a pond, and the poop just keeps going through from the top building to the lower building. Yeah. Chicken coops, or the chicken structures where we have sasso chicken here and crossbred sassos. We're not able to go through, but
can see from here.
Yeah, that's a sasso cock which I'm crossbreeding with the rest of the locals. I recently brought some female sasso hens, and they are there. So here, the ones which are not having chicks, the ones which are incubating, this one has just hatched. The ones which are incubating and the ones which are not having chicks, this is where they stay. The juveniles stay in another whole different section
Okay.
up there. I was told
Let's first go the other side, then you can talk.
like I told you, this is an integrated farm. Their free-ranging nature is part of the arrangement. These birds, this chicken, they are one of the reasons why I'm very comfortable with with diseases. I don't get a whole lot of diseases. I don't get any diseases. In fact, I don't spray these cows. I don't spray the goats. It has been almost 4 years since I sprayed any animal here.
Wow.
We don't spray anything anywhere here. This chicken will take care of any ticks or parasites that are in this place. Yeah. Any food that falls off when we are feeding the animals, they will eat it. So any wastage here is cleaned up by these birds. So it's why we run an integrated farm. We're able to make use of many different things with minimal waste. They come out. Yeah, so these are the pure sass. These 4 here. These are pure sasso hens that I brought. I brought them when they were small chicks. That was about 3 months ago. Yeah, these are the ones that I'm hoping to make the flock from, because the cock is now there, and I'm going to make a pure flock out of these. Yeah, hopefully in the next 2, 3, 4 months. Yeah. Yeah.
What advice do you have for people who are going to watch this video as we prepare to watch part 2?
The advice I would give to those who are watching is that it is very, very important to understand how we visit and how we see agriculture. For example, I keep getting a number of people who come to this farm, and straight away they are looking at animals like we've been looking at them, and maybe in a short time they make their own conclusions, or I conclude for them. But I would be quick to tell you that the nature in which you see this operation, it is not the animals themselves or the birds or the chicken that you should be seeing. We should be trying to focus more on what they feed on. There's a pie chart that I keep using. It has 3 things in it. It has feeds, it has genetics, it has management. Everything you see here, 75% of any success I might be having here is because I've invested 75% of my resources into feeds. The animals, that is how they look and where you got them from, that's just the genetics. Genetics should be about 15%, and management about 10%. What some of our colleagues do, they concentrate 75% of their capital and their time, spend it on the genetics. Somebody can go and buy a cow of 5 million shillings, throw it in a bush somewhere, and wait for jerry cans of milk. And when they don't come, he says, I was robbed. Yeah. So while we are doing this, I would encourage our readers, our viewers, to understand that it is very crucial for you to inject more capital into the feed equation of the mix. And that's what I'll be showing you later.
Okay.
Yeah.
For everyone that has walked this journey with us, as you watched the videos, I hope you've learned something. Now, you have to come back for part 2, because there is still more to learn and you don't want to miss it. Thank you so much. Till next weekend. Bye.